Happy Friday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. I am Jay Zawaski with Mario Tirabassi. Greg Boyson is getting his music weekend started at Riot Fest, taking a well-deserved day off. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate you as always. Make sure you smash that like button on YouTube. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. Podcast listeners, follow, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We have a ton to get to today. Mario and I were the only two people at Blackhawks practice today watching the Hawks practice. We'll tell you what we saw there. We've got your mailbag questions to finish up. We've got some Connor Bedard and Blackhawks props for the season. We've got some thoughts on Mike Babcock, who may or may not be employed by the time we wrap up this podcast. What else? Anything else? Oh, and then we got a new arena expansion coming to Fifth Third Arena. So let's get right to it. Let's start with today. A very casual, maybe a 90-minute session this morning ahead of the Hawks heading out to St. Paul for the Tom Kurver's Prospect Showcase. Yes, it will be streamed on the Blackhawks YouTube page. Rest assured, it will be there, both games, and from what we understand, they will be accessible beyond when they're live. So if you can't catch it Saturday or Sunday, you should be able to go, when you sit down for the night, go to the YouTube page, pull it up, and watch it very, very easily from the comfort of your couch whenever you're ready. I know that's what we're going to be doing this weekend for sure.
Yep.
But we saw some potential line combinations for this weekend.
Yeah, we were able to get an idea of what the Blackhawks prospects might look like heading into this weekend. I know yesterday it looked like Nick Lardis, Connor Bedard, and Colton Dach were going to be a trio together. Anders Sorensen basically confirmed that, and that's what we saw today. At the top of the forwards lineup was, again, Nick Lardis, Connor Bedard, Colton Dach. Another trio that was together was Sam Savoie, Paul Ludwinski, and Gavin Hayes. And then you had Martin Myziak, Antti Sarella, and Ryder Rolston together. Yuri Felchman, Marcel, and Alex Ferrand were also a trio together. And then Romeo and
Juliet,
Garnier were the extras going in there. So that was the forwards groupings, and then the defensive groupings. They didn't necessarily do like line rushes, but they had those forwards groups going together. The defensive groups looked like, at least in each drill that was two defensemen, these were the pairs each time. Kevin Korchinski and Nolan Allen, Wyatt Kaiser and Louis Crevier, Ethan Del Mastro and Andrew Perrott, and then I believe it's Lucas Brenton is the extra there as well. And then Mitchell Weeks and Drew Comezzo are the rookie goaltenders.
So there you have it. And 7:45 Moto fan says, what time? Tomorrow's game Saturday is at 6 o'clock.
Central
and
time.
Sunday's game is at 3 o'clock Central Time. So there you go. 6 Saturday, 3 Sunday, right there on the Blackhawks YouTube page. Joe Brand and Charlie Romeliotis, a very handsome broadcast with lots of good hair, will be calling the action for you on this one. So what we saw today, a lot more like kind of game simulated action. They were working on the power play.
Yep.
They're working on the penalty kill, obviously, as you do when you work on the power play. You work on the penalty kill too.
Yeah.
We saw Bedard in that Patrick Kane kind of right point, right wing boards in the 1-3-1 setup.
Yep.
And he was definitely the puck facilitator for the majority of the power play. It was him and Korchinski kind of exchanging back and forth, and then Bedard would do what he could to get it into the middle, into the slot. Definitely that's the setup. He is going to jump right into that Patrick Kane role.
Yeah, the top power play unit lined up basically as Colton Dach, the 1-3-1. Colton Dach was playing the net front. Gavin Hayes was on the left wing, Martin Myziak in the bumper role, Bedard on the right, and then Korchinski up top at the blue line. Yeah, I think that position bodes well for Bedard because you are able to facilitate the offense a little bit through that position and also be in shooting positions where, Patrick Kane really was able to take advantage of, being able to work the puck across ice into that bumper roll or circle to circle when he had Artemi Panarin and Alex DeBrincat in those roles in the past. And yeah, I think Bedard his skill set fits that position. Yeah. You don't want to put him in the bumper roll right in the center of the ice because he has a great shot, but that's kind of what you're limited to do in that role. Obviously as you have movement on the power play, guys get interchange positions, but to set up right in the center, you're kind of just getting that middle cross one timer every now and then. Net front, not his game. So I think he's in the right kind of position to facilitate.
And with that release, he's going to be able to get himself into shooting lanes.
Yeah.
And get that shot off quickly through traffic. That's the idea. And I will say, while he has jumped into the Kane role, he's not playing it the same way. Bedard, based on one practice, was a lot more in motion in that role than Kane was. You would see Kane kind of pull up on the right wing boards, take his time, take a look. Bedard was moving a lot more than Kane does, kind of working his way between the right point and the right wing boards. Sometimes he would even navigate himself into the slot area trying to look for that shot. Very elusive and very active on the power play. So that will be a bit of a change, but ultimately that's the role he's trying to do, is that distributor role on the right wing boards to kind of get it where he needs to get it. But I like the way he looked on there. Made a ton of sense, obviously. Saw a really nice play from Kevin Korchinski during this drill. Had the puck on the right side, kind of put a saucer pass on the tape, kind of across the slot to the other side, the left wing side. Then it came right back to him, and he was able to score top shelf. Probably the nicest goal we've seen of camp so far. Yeah,
him and Gavin Hayes connected on that one. Two back-to-back great cross-ice passes to set up that shot, and he buried it. So, it was good to see that from Korchinski, be able to – and I think that's one of the things that makes him really exciting as an offensive defenseman, is that, especially in a power play situation, he has the ability to navigate deeper into the zone, doesn't have to just patrol the blue line. Like, he can move around with the puck, and he can alternate positions. And that's one thing that I think we have talked about a lot through, the year plus that we've been doing this and watching the Blackhawks, is that when they move on the power play, when they move the puck, move bodies, change angles, they become more dangerous. And a lot of times over the last few seasons with Patrick Kane on the right wing side of the power play, the puck would get to him and teammates would kind of just watch what he was going to do. And Patrick Kane, for as skilled as he was, not necessarily his best option all the time was to just do something himself, to try and make a move and get the puck to the net or get a shot off. A lot of what made him special was his ability to see the ice, see plays happen, and distribute the puck. But if four other people are just standing still, there's not much for him to do. So I would like to think that what we'll see in the prospect camp, and then what hopefully translates to the NHL, is a more fluid moving power play, where not only is the puck moving around from different positions and changing angles on the opposition, but also players are moving fluidly within it. So I think these guys have that ability with a guy like Bedard and Korchinski paired together. I think that'll be something to watch this weekend. And the second power play unit was a little interesting too, because you had Ethan Del Mastro and Wyatt Kaiser both as a part of it as defensemen, but they still were set up in the 1-3-1. So Kaiser was on the blue line, and Del Mastro was in that right wing spot, along with I believe it was Lardis, Savoie, and Paul Lewinsky. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up on the special teams. Yeah, it was definitely interesting to watch, and you see. It's fun to see the wheels turn in these coaches' minds. Like, all right, what do we got here? And when the NHL team comes together, how it's going to look too. And Corey asked, do we know why Lucas Reichel isn't playing? Is he not considered a prospect? No, he is a Blackhawk. I think he's beyond this, And he's in town. He is skating with the vets. So just so everybody knows, at Fifth Third, while the rookies and prospects play on the main surface, I guess you'd say the east surface of Fifth Third Arena, the west rink has the Blackhawks on it. Foligno, Perry, Donato, Seth Jones, Lucas Reichel, pretty much name them and they're there. Yeah. Getting ready for training camp starting on Thursday. Basically, the entire team, save for a couple guys. I think all of them should be here by now. Yeah, so they're there, and Lucas Reichel has been working with the main
NHL team as he should be. So before we move on, one guy that we talked yesterday about Wyatt Kaiser. We talked Wednesday about Nolan Allen looking good. Martin Misiak, I think, has looked really, really good. Clearly some room to grow physically. But, man, you can see what they saw in this kid. Very kind of elusive skater, really good shot, really accurate shot. He has scored some impressive, again, during drills, whatever. But the accuracy of his shot cannot be denied. He doesn't miss very often.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I think is going to turn into one of these picks that, it happened in I believe it was a third-round pick or, third-round pick. One of these guys that I think is going to end up looking like a really good value pick as the years go on. He was the top pick in the OHL import draft. He's going to go play at with the Erie Otters in the OHL. His shot is great. He has pretty good size, like you said. He has room to mature physically and grow into his frame, but he has a really good size that I think will eventually lead to helping him into the professional game. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how this will be my first time seeing him in a lot of game action, because after he was drafted, you just got to kind of see clips here and there of him when he was with the Lehigh, was it Youngstown? When he was with Youngstown in the USHL. So, I'm excited to see what he does with this group, and he's got a good opportunity too. I think he's probably going to end up on the wing because he's not playing center right now as far as he is in the lineup, but I think that's a good spot for him.
Clout says, I know Kamesa was there, but how about Guyon? Wasn't he there? No, college players are not there. College players have already reported to their college teams. So he's not there. Ryan Green's not there.
Nazar's
not there.
Rinzel, yeah,
right.
They're all already in school.
Exactly. So in years past, our chance to see them would have been development camp. Yeah. But because they're with their college teams, they are there now. Yeah. So there you have it. All right, before we take a break, want to go through some of these Connor Bedard odds? Connor Bedard odds I stumbled across on DraftKings this morning.
Yeah, these are fun.
So if you want to go to your DraftKings app, do so. Sign up with that code CHGO, and you'll get something probably.
Let's win some money.
Calder odds. Connor Bedard, big-time favorite, minus 140 to win the Calder. Next closest is Luke Hughes at plus 700. Adam Fantilli plus 1,100. Logan Cooley, the best prospect in the world, plus 1,200. So
I didn't realize it was that large of a gap.
It's a big gap.
Wow.
It's a big gap for the Calder.
Yeah. I mean,
I threw $5 on it.
Get it now, because I got a feeling those odds are only going to get, the gap is only going to widen as the season goes on.
Yeah, so there's that one. One I thought was fun, and this could be a fun parlay if you're looking for a parlay.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard to score his first career regular season goal against which opponent? So they open in Pittsburgh. Yep. That's plus 195. Boston, game 2, is plus 275. Game 3 against Montreal, 450. Toronto, plus 750. Vegas, plus 1,100. So they think he's going to score pretty early based on these odds.
That Vegas game, that's the home opener, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think he buries one night one. I mean,
I bet on the Boston game just because the odds are higher.
Yeah.
It's a bigger payout if I win.
True. Yeah.
So I went with the Boston plus 275. So that's a fun one.
I mean, look, if the NFL is scripted, why can't the NHL be scripted?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, going into the what was it, the Ovechkin game?
Yeah. I bet that.
On ESPN, he was chasing 800. You know, it was just like national TV. We were like, it's happening tonight, and the script writers heard what we thought and wrote it into the universe. So
I won a good amount of money that night. I threw down, I think, about 10 on it.
Yeah.
And the odds they got me through the rest of the hockey season pretty much.
I mean, to score a hat trick for the 800th goal would have been quite the feat, and he did it. So.
And the bet was which opponent will he score it against.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Okay, so Bedard is not on the board for the Hart, which is MVP.
That's a
he
shame.
is on the board for the Richard, which is most goals scored. He is plus 10,000 to lead the NHL. It's a great graphic.
Oh, it's a great graphic. That's
if you're not watching on YouTube, we're not going to tell you what it is. Go find it.
It's so worth it.
That's amazing.
Oh, that's great.
So plus 10,000 for Bedard to win the Richard as the league's leading scorer. That is, for reference,
Top goal scorer.
tied with Brady Tkachuk, Philip Forsberg, Jack Eichel, Steven Stamkos, Mark Scheifele, Adrian Kempe. Those are the other plus 10,000 players.
Yeah, I mean, as meatball-y as I can sound, my over-under hot take for Bedard this year is that he scores more than 40. I just don't think it's going to lead the league.
Yeah, probably won't lead the league.
I think you're talking about your McDavids and your Austin Matthews and your McKinnons. Like, those are the guys that'll probably be David Pastrnak probably leading the league, and it's going to be the way scoring has gone the last couple of years. I would be shocked if it's not if less than 50 wins it. Yeah,
I think you're right about that. Okay, here's a strange one, but it's here, so we'll tell you about it. Connor Bedard to record 350 plus shots on goal is plus 1,000, and what you found out is the WHL does not track shots for whatever reason.
See, they definitely do in their like if you go to like a box score of a game, they'll have it there. But when I was looking it up, and I don't know, maybe it was just my phone browser wasn't working. It just didn't have his total shots on goal from the year. So I don't know what it was. I'm sure it was very high. He was firing it everywhere this year. But yeah, so 350 shots on goal in an 82 game NHL season means he is averaging 4.26 shots per game. So
that assumes health.
Yep.
And that assumes production.
It assumes he makes the team.
Well, that's true. We don't know yet. I don't know. That feels like kind of a gimme bet, but
that feels attainable. I mean, like we were talking about it today. There are going to be games where he'll put up. I'm sure there will be games where he puts up 8, 9, 10 shots in a game just because, he has that that kind of shot that you want to use as a weapon. So I would think that this is attainable. I'm looking up here. Who led the league in shots last year? Let's see. Yes.
I'm going to bet McDavid.
Right, David Pastrnak put up 407. Nathan McKinnon put up 366. McDavid 352. Brady Tkachuk 347. So we're talking he'd have to be top 3, top 4 in the league in shots.
All right, well that seems a little tougher then.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to get every opportunity, right? He's going to be on the ice for the power play 1, line 1, down a goal late. He's going to be out there, so he's going to get every chance.
If you're looking for a fun and exotic bet, this is a good one.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And here's one more as it pertains to Bedard. Connor Bedard to record 100-plus points is plus 1,800.
Nice. Jay, I didn't know you set that record.
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome.
I didn't tell anybody. Plus 1,800. The prop right behind it is Adam Fantilli to record 70-plus points. That's plus 1,600. So 100-plus points at plus 1,800. Boy, that feels like throwing money away.
It does. But
if you parlay that with the 350 shots and hit it,
that's quite the payout.
Throw $2 on it. Why not?
And if he's on that pace, at some point throughout the season, he'll likely have some heart odds come on there if you want to throw some money on that one as well. Yeah, 100 points. Again, I feel like I need more pasta sauce over here for all the meatball takes. It seems attainable for him. But I can pump the brakes a little bit. That, it just seems like the team around him it's going to be better than last year, set up better than last year would have been. I just don't think it's 100 points for him.
No.
I think if he scores 40 goals and 90 points, I think that's the ceiling that I could put on it.
Yeah, and even that seems
and that
to me,
is,
if he's
and that is
point
the
per game,
ceiling.
I'm blown away by the performance.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So
because the last guys to have 100 points as a rookie that I can think of off the top of my head are Crosby, Ovechkin, and Teemu Selanne.
Yeah.
Like, it's not unattainable, but I think it's in today's game, it's a little challenging.
I'd like to see a bet where you could say, is he going to be closer to 82 or closer to 50?
Yeah. I mean, his over-under was, what, 73 or something like that?
Yeah, that feels about
That feels
where I'm
right.
thinking.
That
Yeah.
feels right to be the line to say, is he going to be less than or more than? I don't know. I think he's going to be close to a point per game guy.
All right, and here's one more weird Blackhawks prop that got my attention. Lucas Reichel or Cole Gutman. So you make this bet, you get either of these guys to record 20-plus goals is minus 115.
That's so interesting.
So Vegas feels like Reichel's going to score 20.
Right. Or
they think Hawks fans are going to bet it.
Or we're missing something about Cole Gutman.
Hey, I'll take it, man. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's...
If both those guys score 20...
Even if they're both flirting with it.
And then you've got Taylor Hall, who's probably going to score 25 to 30.
If Athanasiou can put up 20 on last year's team, and Taylor Radish can put up 20 on last year's team, I would like to think that a guy like Reichel, Bedard, Taylor Hall, they will all surpass 20 goals this year. I would like to believe that that's possible. Cole Gutman, I don't know, but Reichel, I think that's who you're betting on. In this bet, at least, to hit the 20 goal mark, and he could do it.
It's interesting that it's either or on the bet,
right?
So you're betting on you again. You place that bet. You don't have to choose which one you think it is. They're saying that they believe Reichel or Gutman will score 20 goals,
and it's not combined either.
Right.
So it's like
just one or the other.
Your bet is that Reichel does it, but your backup to it is Cole. It's an interesting bet. I would love to be in the Slack chat for DraftKings on how they put together these bets and these odds. But yeah, that's an interesting one. But again, kind of like with Bedard. For Reichel, I feel like the role he's going to play, the guys he's going to be able to play with, the skill set that he has, if he's able to string some games together this year where, they were some of the performances we saw early on when he first got here, and in those last dozen or so games towards the end of the year, if he could string together performances like that throughout the entire season, I have no doubts he can put up 20 goals, 55 points or more, and be that secondary option behind top guys like Hall and Bedard, and I would love to see it. So yeah, it's an interesting combination, but not a far-fetched bet. I wouldn't say.
I like 20. I think Reichel gets more than 20. Gutman, I'm not so sure.
Gutman, hey, if you put up 20 points, we're happy there.
Hey, he's gonna play.
I think so. I mean, he's coming off injury. He's gonna be in a position battle. We'll talk about it next week about going into camp and things to look towards. Cole Gutman it's not guaranteed that he's gonna start the season here. I mean, there are a lot of guys in that bottom six that are going to be challenging for not only ice time but roster spots, and that's a good thing. Last year there wasn't really much of that, and he was able to kind of grow in the role that he played with the Ice Hogs and grow into an NHL player, but it's not guaranteed for him.
No, I think the best thing that can happen to him is Lucas Reichel being a winger.
Right. Yeah. Because if you take one player out of that competition down the middle, then Gutman slots up. And yeah, I think if that's the case, you're looking at a guy who could potentially be a third line center, maybe a fourth line center, but be a lineup regular in that role.
We'll see. Keep an eye on that bet though, because if you start to see the season begin with Reichel on the wing and Gutman as your potentially number 2 center, I mean, Dickinson, in an ideal world, Dickinson's your 3. And when you look at the roster, there are a lot of guys that can play center.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of centers.
Right. Strictly centers.
Yeah. So Bedard is a center. Dickinson's a center. And Gutman's a center. Donato bounces around. Kurashev bounces around. Athanasiou fiddled with center at the end of last year.
Tyler Johnson
was a winger exclusively last year.
But has played center.
Before, so there's options.
Yeah. I mean, if Gutman comes in and looks great, I mean, talk about a huge opportunity for him, because that second line is probably some combination on the wings of Kurashev, Reichel, Radish, Athanasiou, or Tyler Johnson. Like, that's a good group of wings for a guy like Gutman to potentially be paired with.
I am taking my paddle boat to Meatball Island right now. I am on there. It's more of a kayak. It's got some holes in it, but I'm working on it.
It's more of a pasta sauce ladle, right?
When you look at the forwards on paper, it's not awful. It's not awful. Here's what Daily Faceoff has, just for shits and giggles. Bedard, Hall, Reichel.
That's entertaining.
Johnson, Athanasiou, Radish.
That's okay.
Dickinson, Kurashev, Blackwell. Donato, Foligno, Perry.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a
terrible forward group.
It's not a horrible fourth line. I don't know if I believe Colin Blackwell is going to be playing on a third line.
No, I don't think that's your fourth line. I think that I really like Dickinson, Foligno, Perry. I like that a lot as a checking line.
Yeah.
With some offensive upside.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, you're going to see a ton of people this year, posting the lineup charts and being like, "Wow, what trash!" Man, you want to talk about trash? Look at some of last year's lineups and watch the.
Don't make me open the file.
Right. Yeah.
Don't make me open the file.
That file is locked. But man, like watch the games. Like, they on paper bad lineups. In practice, in competition, sure, they didn't win a lot of games, but it was the competitive gap was not as wide as it would have been on paper. And this year the roster is better. There's more competition for bottom six roles. There's guys who can score like Hall and Reichel and Bedard, and you have some good pieces there. So yeah, on paper you can call it a trash roster, but I have no doubts that you're gonna get a similar competitive spirit to this team, because again, the expectations are low. The outside noise is how bad the Blackhawks are, and you got Luke Richardson and his staff kind of instilling that same kind of mentality with a year of practice to back it up. If
they're going to surprise some people,
you have a roster and a lineup to buy in. Like, and I again, we're not talking about a tank this year. We're likely still talking about a team that drafts in the lottery. But I don't think there's any reason to doubt that this team cannot not only surpass last year's point total, but significantly.
I think so too.
Well into the 70s of points.
Yeah,
which is still not. It's not going to be a playoff team.
No,
but you're going to win. You're going to beat teams and win games more than you did last year, and in more surprising fashion. I believe that.
100%. Okay, we still got a lot to get to, so we're going to do it quickly. But first, want to remind everybody about our friends at Fubo TV. Go to FuboTV.com/CHGO. Why? Well, you're tired of paying for cable and you want 140-plus live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You want to stream live TV from any device. You want to watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. Start watching immediately with a free trial. FuboTV.com/CHGO. Guess what? There's no contract, there's no cable, there's no hassle. Just sign up and start watching right away. 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge. Watch your local teams while traveling. You've got the NFL underway, Red Zone. Yep, Fubo's got Red Zone. They've got NFL Network. You've got the Euro qualifiers coming up, the Ryder Cup. College football's underway as the Irish look to go 4-0 this weekend. They're going to watch all your favorite college football and the NFL with Fubo. They have the website written so weird in here. They have it phonetically written, www.FuboTV.com/CHGO, which is why it throws me off every time. FuboTV.com/CHGO to sign up for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro.
And hey, if you're looking for another way to enjoy your Fubo TV, be sure to head over to Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary.
Okay.
They are your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. And Sunnyside has everything you need to elevate your football and soon-to-be hockey seasons. No matter where you are on your cannabis journey, easy online ordering and in-store pickup is available. They have a great transparency rewards program as well called Sunnyside Rewards. And they have a tremendous lineup of in-house brands. They have the Mindy's, the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles around, created by James Beard award-winning chef Mindy Siegel and Cresco Labs. They have the Good News gummies that also come with the rechargeable vape pens, carts, perfect for making great moments with your crew. They have the High Supply, which offers quality weed that's always available. Buds are expertly grown, lab-tested, and available in vape carts, vape pens, flour, popcorn, shakes, pre-rolls, shorties, and concentrates. And you have the Remedy as well. They are great to welcome you to wellness-minded cannabis, delivered in easy forms and precise doses. You can find Remedy textures, capsules, and RSOs available in relief and rest benefits at a Sunnyside dispensary near you. And through October 15th, head to sunnyside.shop and use the code CHGO25 at checkout. When you do that, you're going to get 25% off of your total order. Again, through October 15th. Use the promo code CHGO25 when you go to sunnyside.shop. You're going to get 25% off of your total order. One use per customer, not stackable with other promotions, but it's not just for new customers. Anyone can use the code, so pick up everything you need to elevate your football season. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois medical card holder.
There you go. All right, news of the day. Couple things. Fifth Third Arena expansion was approved yesterday.
Approved.
The city of Chicago approved the privately funded $65 million expansion. They are growing west on Jackson, so they're like kind of right between what is it, Jackson? It's Damon and whatever the East Street is there. They're going to go closer to Damon with that big empty bit of land. So the plan here is 135,000 square foot expansion. Ultimately, they're going to have a 1,500 seat championship arena.
See the rendering there.
You can see the rendering on your screen on YouTube. And so my mind wandered when I saw this. Could this accommodate a PWHL women's professional hockey team? Is 1,500 seats enough?
Yeah.
And I'm going to say no, it's not. Here's what I'm basing this on. The PWHL is looking for junior league sized arenas like the WHL, OHL.
AHL sized arenas as well.
Yes. The London Knights, for example, one of the bigger teams in the Western League, play in a 9,000 seat arena. The Seattle Thunderbirds play in 6,500 seats. The Chicago Steel can seat 2,592.
Mm-hmm.
So 1,500 is not enough for a PWHL team.
It feels low, yeah.
What I do think this opens the door for, though, is World Junior Championships in Chicago. I think this allows them to have 1,500 for your Latvia, Czechia games.
Yeah.
Where there's not going to be a ton of people. It
true.
gives you the opportunity there. I think that's a possibility. I think it probably should be anyway, because you could, even if you wanted to, you could use Fox Valley, you could use Rosemont. I know there's a lot of hoops and ladders to jump through and over and on, but they could make a Chicago one happen. I think this does help the chances. If nothing else, is more training facilities right by the United Center. Yeah,
I think that the biggest focus is you're adding 2 more rinks, so you're gonna have 4 rinks at the Fifth Third Arena. You're expanding access to people in the city of Chicago to get more ice time available, higher quality facilities available to them, which I think is a really good thing for the Blackhawks to be doing to help expand the access and availability to hockey in their direct community. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be. It would be enough for a PWHL team. It would be a downgrading capacity for the Chicago Steel. So I know when we were talking about the Wirtz Corporation purchasing the steel. Were they going to move them? I don't see them moving them at all. I don't think that's part of the plan at all.
By the way, I will say the steel draw about 1,100 per game, but that is by far the smallest arena in their league.
Right. Yeah.
And they, if anything, they want to get bigger, not smaller.
They would want to. Yeah, they would want to expand that capacity as well. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's probably going to focus less on getting teams here, and it's more about expanding the community feel to the facilities, and people talking about in the chat too, and I believe the Blackhawks talked about it in the press release, how the Illinois high school hockey scene will be able to take more advantage of this, maybe have their state championships and playoff games in that facility rather than being in the United Center. That would make those games feel bigger. Like, yeah, it's really cool to play in the United Center, but if you have 1,000 people in the United Center, it might as well be empty.
Pin drop, yeah.
Yeah, so if you have 1,000 people watching a high school hockey game in a facility that seats 1,500, it's going to be a much bigger atmosphere. So I think that's a really good facility addition and expansion that the community is going to benefit from. Blackhawks also, within this announcement of the expansion, announced a lot of different youth hockey initiatives that they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I know October, I believe it's 14th and 15th. They are hosting a Try Hockey for Free weekend, I believe it is. And that's going to be at 15 different locations around the Chicagoland, and Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, lots of, I can tell you the rinks right here. It's Arctic in Orland.
Yeah.
Addison Ice Arena, Centennial Ice Arena in Wilmette, Canland Sports in Romeoville, Canland Sports in West Dundee, Glacier in Vernon Hills, Skadium Ice Arena in Skokie, the Cube Sports Complex in Hammond, Midwest Hockey Training Arena in Dyer, Fox Valley Ice Arena in Geneva, Mount Prospect Ice Arena, Oakton Ice Arena in Park Ridge, Ice Valley Center in Kankakee, and the Top Shelf Ice Arena in Gurnee. So lots of options.
A lot of options
for this Try Hockey for Free weekend, the 14th.
Yeah. So I'm
and 15th.
It's great that the Blackhawks are getting into that and reaching out to the youth hockey scene. And yeah, I think the expansion is good. There obviously the practice facility is already established there for the Blackhawks. That'll be, I'm sure, expanded. I'm sure it'll probably have some upgrades and renovations. I think the biggest thing that is coming to the Fifth Third Arena as part of their expansion, as part of their facilities, is the donuts and coffee. They are coming
Absolutely.
back. We saw today the construction being done on the former Dunkin' Donuts.
I was yelling at him, like,
stand.
hurry up.
Yeah, it's going to be. It seems like it's going to be a rotating space for coffee and donuts. More local shops are going to be able to come in, set up shop for a while, and provide coffee and donuts to all the very tired parents at 6 a.m. for their kids' hockey practices and games, and the very tired hockey reporters who are showing up at 11 a.m. for the practices.
Yes.
For the Blackhawks.
Now, 11 a.m. is early when you're leaving the United Center at 11:30. You're leaving here at 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're saying that.
Yeah. So, but
Not
yeah,
that we're complaining.
Good stuff coming. Glad that the Blackhawks were able to get the expansion approved, and I think what Ben Pope reported was that January of 2026 was the hopeful completion date.
Yeah.
So that would be good. Perfect for my 36th birthday.
Shut up. All right, we got one more little news item to get to. I'm sure if you're watching this podcast by now, you have heard the hubbub about Mike Babcock. It was reported by Paul Bissonnette that Babcock was taking players' phones, projecting the phones onto a screen, and going through the photos on the phones in front of the team. Johnny Gaudreau and Boone Jenner have publicly said it was nothing like that. He was looking through our phones to learn about our family. It was with permission. I was showing him a picture of my baby and my wife and my parents and stuff. Showing him a picture of just Johnny Gaudreau saying, picture of my grandma who had just passed away. He was just trying to get to know what made these guys tick. Boone Jenner said basically the same thing. That was yesterday.
Was it? I don't know. It was earlier.
Earlier this week.
So
then yesterday, I believe, the PA and the NHL all of a sudden shift gears.
Yep.
And what looked like it was about to blow over, they suddenly are flying to Columbus to meet with Mike Babcock and the Blue Jackets today, reportedly based on new information coming to light, and they want to do an investigation. Yeah. Here's my thing. However you feel about this, and whether you believe Jenner and Gaudreau, and I have no reason to not, I think your problem here with Babcock is you have a trust issue with the players. You have a trust issue now with the coach, because he's going to be saying, who are the players that are not ratting me out, but who are the players here that are unhappy with this? Mm-hmm. I don't know who they are. He's looking over his shoulder. Players are looking over their shoulder, worried they're going to get found out and benched because of it. It's ugly. It's already very ugly.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, if you're Jarmo Kekalainen, the Blue Jackets GM, or John Davidson, the Blue Jackets president, you look at this right now and go, yeah, we're going to go into our season with Mike Babcock behind the bench. It's late, of course, but tear the Band-Aid off now, because this is just, they haven't even played a game yet. They played a great game in Traverse City, and Babcock was behind the bench. But, like, it's now, or you kind of have to live with it for at least a year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how the organization recovers from this. I don't know how there is trust regained from or by Babcock.
Yeah, I think, first off, Columbus made the decision to bring in Mike Babcock. They made the decision to have a head coach that was going to come in with a reputation and coming off of some very public reasons why he was fired from his last position. So that's, I mean, I'm not saying you were asking for something like this to happen, but you definitely kept the door wide open for something like it to happen. And, you know, it just illustrates how razor thin of ice Babcock was coming in on to this position and with the Blue Jackets, and the microscope that was going to be on him. And the first thing that's, depending on who you listen to, who you believe, who you feel like you want to, you know, put your eggs in their basket, whether it's defending Mike Babcock or listening to the veteran players or listening to Bissonnette or whoever might be, you know, bringing this out against what Babcock was doing. It's whether you believe the veterans or whoever that has gone through this process with Babcock, I can understand why a veteran guy like Boone Jenner, going through his photos, showing his family, showing his dog, showing, you know, his vacation up to his cottage or whatever, would be fine opening up your phone and showing your coach. Let's say a 20-year-old kid is said, hey, connect your phone to the TV, let's go through your camera roll, I want to get to know you. And you go, I don't want to do that. To Mike Babcock,
yeah,
as a young player, if that's, you know, if it's a young player or a new player or someone like that, I can understand why you would be very uncomfortable doing that.
And even if his intention is not bad,
right? Even if you don't have anything weird on your phone, too.
Yeah, well,
it's kind of just like, why?
Think about the different shit on your phone now as a parent versus then as a 20-year-old. If I had a phone when I was 20, it would be pictures of me drinking, pictures of me after I visit Sunnyside.
Right.
I don't know.
Dumb memes of random stuff.
Yeah, like stuff I've sent friends.
Yeah, it's a weird situation to be put in. And I think one of the things with Mike Babcock in his past, in his coaching techniques, and what I think was kind of supposed to be something that he would learn from in his time away from the game, would be the role of power dynamics. And you have a guy that has such a storied career as a head coach, a reputation for being a hard ass.
Yeah.
He has guys that loved that loved playing for him, and guys that absolutely hated playing for him. So he's a divisive guy, but in prior roles, he's done things that have been clear abuses of power dynamics.
Absolutely.
To other players. So to kind of come in and set something up where it's just kind of just like, hey, I want you to open your phone for me and let's talk about let's talk about what we see or whatever. It's kind of a weird power dynamic thing to do. And you put some of these guys into a position where if they're uncomfortable with it, that's going to take some cojones to say to Mike Babcock, hey, I don't really want to do this with you, kind of thing. So it's a weird position to be in. It's a whole weird scenario because the way it was put into public by Bissonnette and his group was just like it seemed more like, well, this is a weird witch hunt that they're going after with some disgruntled former players' comments. But then as time went on, as the NHL investigated and the PA's been involved and as they expanded their investigation and the more that it's been talked about, it's not going away.
No.
There's obviously way more to it. And I don't know. I know we did some prop bets with DraftKings on Bedard and the Blackhawks. Is there a prop bet of how many games Mike Babcock plays this year? Because I might take the coaches this year because I'm probably taking the under. Yeah,
it's not a good situation. All right, we're gonna rifle through some mailbag questions here and do the best we can to get to all of them. But we want to remind you want to get fitted out in the best sports gear around, don't you? Well, you do it at foco.com. They've got hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. We got some hot, not just warm, hot weather coming up.
Yeah.
So get out to Wrigley, get out to Guaranteed Rate for one last time with your Aloha shirt, your straw hats, your polos, everything you need to stay cool at a game. And as the weather cools off, finally, you can get all your your cold weather gear at Foco as well. They've also donated a bunch of our awesome set pieces that we've got here, so thank you to them for that. Visit foco.com or click the link in our description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Again, that's CHGO at foco.com.
And when the warm weather comes back, what better way to go out, sit on your patio, shirtless, bring out a dart.
He's there.
And crack.
And he's got a lady underneath him. Wait, hold on. Clarifying. The shirtless dart guy is on his balcony. On the balcony below shirtless dart guy, there is a woman currently wearing a shirt. I believe it's a camisole. He's waving at us. He's watching live.
They are on two separate patios. Oh man.
All right. Don't imply things.
Hopefully they can laugh about this too over a cold Goose Island beer. Goose Island Beer Company, the proud beer sponsor of us here at CHGO.
She's cute though. I mean,
she's sitting out there with her dog.
Shoot your shot,
It's a good afternoon. They've been Chicago's beer since 1988, and they have a tremendous roster of beers year-round that you can enjoy. The Full Pocket Pills, the everyday beer. It's what the Goose Island beer brewers are drinking. You have the family of Beer Hug IPAs that are 9.9 ABV, dangerously easy to drink. And the Golden Sun is out today. You can get yourself a golden can.
He's talking to her.
312. Oh, boy. Wonderful.
Sorry.
What a Friday. And, of course, it's Oktoberfest season, so get yourself a delicious Oktoberfest beer from Goose Island to ring in the Oktoberfest fall season. Grab all of these and more ultra-fresh, brewery-exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brewhouse on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can go to their tap room on Fulton Street here in Westtown. That is the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
I'm not kidding. He literally was leaning over the balcony,
wonderful.
shouting down at her. And now I'm looking to see if he's going to appear on her balcony.
Goodness.
Can you imagine?
What a wonderful...
Be the greatest moment. We need like a dart guy cam. We got to get like a GoPro out there or like a Ring doorbell camera just to keep track of what's going on. Michael Evans says, hey, how'd you two meet? Well, actually, this podcast that I creeped on me and got me to introduce myself to the neighbor that lives below me. That's it.
Man.
See?
That's wonderful.
We're making matches. All right. We've got...
Hey, Shirtless Dart Guy is a diehard of the CHGO community. Once he became aware of what we were saying about him on the air, he had to become a diehard. And you can yourself become a diehard. Go to allchgo.com and sign up To become a diehard,
yes,
you can get access to all of our great written content. You can get a 20% discount on merch and events. You can get access to diehard exclusive events like our happy hours. You can get into our diehard only Discord channel, which on Mailbag Mondays, you get first priority on those questions. You get a discount, like I said, on merch, on events. That includes all of our amazing tailgates. CHGO tailgate season is here. Bears tailgates are going to be a lot of fun. First one this season was way more fun than the game was. And hopefully that's not the case for every game, but the tailgate is always going to deliver, never going to disappoint. We got our takeover events as well for the Bulls and the Blackhawks.
Yep.
Blackhawks events November 4th against the Panthers and February 25th against the Red Wings
sold
on
out.
Chris Chelios' retirement night. So that one's sold out. So
for now. Wink, wink, nudge,
we'll
nudge.
see. So yeah, become a diehard, get access to all of this, and when you become a diehard, you get a free shirt right away, and you get a free shirt every year upon renewal. Tons of shirts to check out and merch to look at. CHGOlocker.com. Look at all of the great designs that we have as well. So yes, become a diehard, become a part of the CHGO community. You will not regret it.
All right, we got a bunch of mailbag questions. Let's rifle through them as quickly as we can. One sentence responses.
Quick
Let's
answers.
go.
Quick answers.
All right, boys, we'll get to them right now. We'll start with the Discord ones. We appreciate all our diehards in the Discord. So Windy City Hockey, who's also, in our chat, asks, what would be your guys' dark horse pick for a jersey retirement for the Blackhawks?
You first.
Pat Foley.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like that. Corey Crawford.
Okay, next.
I like it.
We're getting through these, I'm telling you.
We can't go into next week with more with mail.
Brad Beatty, also in our chat here today, and a diehard in our Discord, asking why Chelly before Larmer, and will Larmer be next?
Chelios, better player, more involved with the team, local, was here longer, yes. I think Larmer is not next, but I think Larmer is coming too.
Agreed.
Okay, next.
Agreed.
I disagree. No, agreed.
All right. Our Methalist asks, where do you think Lucas Reichel will slot in this season? Daily Faceoff has him right wing with Bedard and Hall, but I don't know if he's necessarily played right wing before.
Yeah, if I'm guessing, I think they have him as a winger. I don't think they're sold on him as a center at all.
I think they have him as a winger. But I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a crack at being 2C just to start camp and see how it goes.
I hope they give him a look. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Next.
Love it. That one clone who punched a droid.
Nice. I know who you're talking about.
Has Chelios ever been considered for a coaching front office position? If not, do you think he'd be a good fit in a coaching or front office role?
He had a front office role with the Red Wings. Trying to remember exactly what it was, like what the title of it was. He has been an assistant coach for Team USA, the 2016 World Juniors. I don't think he wants to coach.
No,
I think Chris Chelios is very happy being Chris Chelios.
They'd have to make more clones.
Yes,
if he wants to keep up his very active social life. Yeah, I think he likes being Chris Chelios, likes being an ambassador for the Blackhawks, and that's probably all he wants to do.
Pearl Jam super fan.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not a bad life.
Look at this. Look at us.
Look at you guys. You're going to have time to spare, so you can take your time if you'd like. If not, we can roll through it. Nope. He goes, nope. It's Friday.
Let's get them all done.
Jeff Maroon at JJMaroon18 asks, we all need optimism right now, especially with my Bears, Jeff. What will be the strength of the Hawks this season? Power play, penalty kill, offense, or defense?
I think they're going to have a good power play.
I think power play 1 will be exciting. Biggest strength is their forwards group. That's what I would say. Their biggest strength is their forwards group.
Forward depth is pretty decent.
Do I think it's the best in the league? No. But it's the best the Blackhawks have.
That's technically correct. What else? Is that it?
Final question.
All right.
Nice. We're going to be on time.
Team Deke
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity, I'm not going to do the boing noise again. Team Deke.
That's how you say it. They were at. We met them in Nashville.
Okay.
They were good.
Very
good,
nice.
Good people.
It's a great place to meet people. If you had the opportunity to interview any active or retired athlete, who would it be?
Athlete or hockey player?
Let's do both.
Do both. Hockey player specifically, I want to pull the fourth chair because Greg would be here for this interview too. I would pull that fourth chair in here, and it would have a nice big space for a Phil Kessel aspirant, and I would love to get him on for an interview. That would be just fantastic.
This is going to seem like a kind of cheesy answer, but when you think about it, if we can get a loosened up Jonathan Taves,
yeah,
I would love to get some story. I would love story time with Taves.
When
maybe he wouldn't be the best guy. Maybe Seabrook is the answer. To get Seabrook in here and just have him tell us stories about the Cup days.
Yeah, when they retire Seabrook's number and when they retire Taves' number, I would love for the Blackhawks to have those media tours have a stop here too. That would be wonderful to talk to those guys. And I think if you're looking for a guy who's going to give you good, honest stories from that time, probably Seabrook over Taves. But I think given the position Taves has gone through in the latter half of his career, I think just kind of being able to expound on that and just kind of get a little bit more of like what went into his mindset of everything. That would be very interesting.
All right, how about athlete?
Athlete overall?
I got mine, and I've actually booked an interview with this person at my former job.
Nice.
But I think Fergie Jenkins is one of the most interesting people to play sports in this city.
Yeah.
Just incredibly thoughtful and intelligent and accomplished. And my God, his life story is tragic and heroic and everything in between. Fergie Jenkins is an underappreciated Chicago icon.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that he kind of got lost to the Ernie Banks and Ron Santo and Billy Williams and all the greats that played in that era. And then he went on to have success in Texas and elsewhere. So maybe was like that second notch kind of a guy.
Yeah.
But man, Fergie Jenkins is an incredible human being. And I would just love to pick his brain about not just playing baseball, but just life. I feel like that's a guy who, if you ask for life advice, he would give you some of the soundest advice you'd ever get.
Yeah.
Took a shot with Fergie Jenkins once. Sat next to him at a Cubs convention at the bar when it used to be at the Hilton. He came and sat right next to me, watched an NFL playoff game, and he bought me and my friend a shot of Jameson, which I regrettably took.
I love Jameson.
But I couldn't. How are you going to turn down a shot of JMO?
He's a super nice guy.
Jenkins? Yep.
Happy to tell his stories. And if you've not seen it, I don't remember the name of it, but there's a documentary about his life on Marquee that is incredible. There's so much, I'm telling you don't know about Fergie Jenkins that you need to know. It's incredible. Yeah. So that's mine.
Jesse the Body Ventura? Wasn't he a football player? Right?
He's a wrestler.
He was a wrestler. Yeah.
All right, so that's athlete. He was in politics, and he was in Demolition Man, which is one of my favorite movies ever.
There you go. And he was in the heyday of the WWF.
Right, so it's like triple barreled there.
Those early 80s.
That's a really good answer.
Yeah. I think... well, the wrestling one just triggered my brain, but I think it'd be really interesting to talk with a guy I feel like Bret Hart has amazing stories.
He has so many axes to grind, though.
I think that would make it better.
And smashes to grind. That's for old wrestling fans. And crushes it later.
Oh, yeah.
It's a demolition joke.
I think every time I've seen him in an interview or a documentary about it, I just feel like it would be fascinating to talk to him because he's gone through a ton in his professional career.
Yeah.
I think that would just be an interesting way. I wasn't even like
wrestling is fascinating.
I was trying to think like what would be a good one. And then when you said Jesse the Body Ventura, I was like, oh, wrestlers, they would be really good.
That's
too.
A good one.
So yeah,
how about this one for wrestling? And he's no longer available. Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes of all that stuff, like in the locker room, seeing everything going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't have himself to really. He was just an observer of all of it. Yeah. I what I like about wrestling is the stories around it. much less than actually like the events and like watching the matches.
Yeah.
I love like the history of it, and this guy was married to this manager, and then she cheated on him with this wrestler, and it's the circus.
Crazy.
It's a traveling circus. That's all it is.
It's insane.
The A&E documentaries they put out every
Those
year.
are
Dark
great.
Side of the Ring.
Well,
No,
and
the
ones.
A&E ones.
Dark
The
Side
A&E ones are good too.
good.
Dark Side
but
of the Ring are interesting, but they're also really just always sad.
Right. Well, in the
It's a
the
sad
A&E
business.
I know, yeah.
and the
yeah.
A&E ones, it's kind of like flip a coin if you're going to get a good ending. And it's like, for me, as these are my childhood heroes, you're watching it through and you're just like, please let this end in a nice way.
It's not going to.
It usually doesn't. Yeah.
That's what I always love, the A&E music documentaries, because they can't get the licensing for any of the music. So like I watched the Guns N' Roses one. I'm like, there's not a single Guns N' Roses song in this entire thing. It's like just generic rock and roll in the background.
Oh, that's nice.
They're very good and very informative, but the Dark Side of the Ring ones are really good. They're
really
tough.
Really well done. Yeah, there's no easy watches, but they're really well done. I'd say the one on Brian Pillman, I knew of him.
Yeah.
I knew that he was a wild card wrestler back in the 90s and stuff. But, man, I had no idea about his whole life story. The two-parter on Brian Pillman was fantastic. If you're a wrestling fan and haven't watched that yet, go check that one out. This is why we need a wrestling podcast on CHGO.
Boy,
that would
it's
be
gotta
great.
happen. Or just an all-city wrestling podcast. It's got to happen.
I'd love to do that.
I don't have an update on Dark Guy. Here's what I do know.
They're both gone.
Dark Guy heard us, took our advice, shouted down to the neighbor. She looked up and responded. Now neither of them are on the balcony.
They're probably saying, let's get out of eye shot of these weirdos and go about our life.
I don't know. I think Greg's sound effect might be... if we crack the door, we might hear it distantly. That's all I'm saying. I made it happen.
We
became a team today.
We'll need an update on Monday.
Absolutely.
We'll shout across to him if he's out there.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on this awesome week. Man, hockey's back. It's so great. We've got 2 games to react to this weekend. Sure, they're Tom Kurver's games, but damn it, they are games. Tomorrow at 6, Sunday at 3 will be streamed on the Blackhawks YouTube page.
Tuesday, we hear from Kyle Davidson.
Yes, we'll be there.
Thursday, training camp opens. It's finally here.
Hockey is here, and a week from Thursday is the first preseason game.
Yeah, 13
So
days
2 weeks
away.
from yesterday. So here we
13
go.
days away. Let's go.
It is upon us. We'll talk to you Monday at 2:30 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.